This is Race I Continue. I'm Mike, your host. Today I got a special episode. I want to actually talk about going science, well, not so fiction. I want to talk about the existence of aliens and why we don't really acknowledge that they are common knowledge, that, we just come out and say it. Because, throughout, decades, even all of time, there has been some alluring, sightings, experiences that have, gathered some sort of credibility. For instance, back in 1963, the famous case of Benny and Barney Hill, who reported being abducted by aliens, and then while on the ship, they were shown a star map. They did ID, on a map, where this cluster would be, but it hadn't been discovered until 1969. So they knew 7 years ahead of time. Both were not astrologers. Then we got the Phoenix Lights, witnessed by thousands of people, photographed, filmed, different angles. Of course, we had the story of, it was flares, a military experiment, or a training exercise, but they tried to recreate the flares as the lights, and it does not look at all what the film looks like. I don't want to go into Roswell, because Roswell is sort of those things that everyone knows about, we're all familiar with. It's kind of, in my opinion, there's not enough ID or people to ID it at the time. There wasn't enough witnesses. It's a fun story. Do I think that stuff is going on at Area 51? A very good possibility. It could be experimental aircraft. These things, people, the military have loved to keep secret for so long. So, until they're ready to go public, it's all speculation what comes out of there. And I'm sure they're not going to advertise on Google Maps, this is where we make experimental aircraft. So that one I'm just going to let lie. I'm also a big fan of the Travis Walton story, which was turned into a movie, kind of loosely. They got the bare bones facts right. Basically, coming back from a logging job late one night, this crew of loggers spotted something in the forest. They went to investigate. Travis Walton, being one of them, got out of the vehicle and got pretty much underneath this thing, and it had zapped him to the ground. The other guys, freaked, left. The driver left them on the side of the road to head back, could not find Travis Walton. This led to a huge, manhunt trying to find this guy. They actually thought that the loggers, because of some bad blood between him and another one, that there might have been foul play and everything. And I can't remember off the top of my head when he reappeared, but he reappeared in society almost 7 years, or I'm sorry, 7 weeks later, or 7 days later. I can't speak, I'm sorry. So, and, he was completely out of it, dehydrated and such. So, we also, have the statistics that 1 in 5 Americans believe in the existence of UFOs, extraterrestrials. 1 in 7 Americans actually report it personally, or having a family member tell them that they had witnessed something, even abductions, the whole 9 yards. And then on top of it, there is, 70,000 UFO sightings per year reported on average. And then you got, that boils down to 193 on average sighted per day. Like, we don't even have that many sightings of, like, say, blue whales, or, any other, the platypus even, I'm sure we don't have that many sightings. And yet we, acknowledge that these things exist. It's easier for some to believe in religion, yet, when you boil down to photographic evidence, that existence of, a higher power, we could debate miracles until we're blue in the face, but when it boils down to, when it holds up in court, I can't just simply go out into the world and be like, all right, new God and that type of stuff, it's not, you need some sort of, something, to hold up in court on the level of evidence. And when you see, like, just going through YouTube and seeing the crazy films that do exist, the eyewitness accounts, it's staggering. It really is, and it's reported from civilians, the cops, firemen, credible people, aircraft, pilots, astronauts have reported. Jimmy Carter, a former president of ours, reported seeing aliens. How much more credibility do we need to the cause to actually admit, they exist, tell our children, all this crazy stuff that, of the world, and it's like, yeah, they're out there. And there's so many debates on, their intentions and that type of stuff, which is, where sci-fi, has really flared our imaginations, and, is such a great source for speculation of what exactly alien beings would want with us, what their intentions are. Are they here to harm us, help us? It's all speculation. It's so much fun to speculate and to dream. And, I grew up with sci-fi. I grew up, I think that one of my first movies I ever saw was War of the Worlds, I believe the 50s take on it. And also, immediately following that was the reading of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. It was first novel, and still holds as one of the greatest pieces of science fiction I have ever read in my life. I adore it. I think that it's just this, amazing imagination of what, worst case scenario could be. And the vision is just so perfect with Wells. He's always been like that. And along that route, my mom actually got me into, science fiction, and we watched Star Wars, we watched Star Trek. I was a huge Trekkie. I still am a huge Trekkie. It's just one of those things that I can't let go of. It's amazing, things that these people come up with. I mean, inventions that hadn't happened before. When you see Kirk, like, flip open the communicator for Scotty to beam up, that's, a flip phone, Next Generation, the flat screen panels, those, they're walking around with iPads and stuff like that, and tablets. So a lot of the science fiction does become real, and, Gene Roddenberry with Star Trek was amazing, not just writer and imaginative person, but he was also, an inventor in some ways. He dreamed up stuff. Just someone actually had to build it. And, on and on. I love comic books and, all forms of science fiction, whether they're more onto science or more on fiction. I still enjoy it all. And the reason why I wanted to end this on a science fiction note is that, unfortunately, today, I want to dedicate this episode to Leonard Nimoy, that passed away at the age of 83. Obviously, a major influence on me, entertained me, educated me, since a young kid. And, it's heartbreaking to know that, he's now, left us and moved on. But at least he lived a long, fruitful life, really had this amazing impact on society and, in the, genre of science fiction. And just in science, too. He said something really great, a great quote. The miracle is this: the more we share, the more we have. And it's true. We've kind of gotten into a more greedy type society, sort of like the 80s, the me generation. It's back even more. We see it in entertainment, in movies, and everywhere. And, I would like Leonard Nimoy's words to, help us all through, tough times and realize the good in others. And, maybe showing some kindness, you'll see kindness come back to you. But along with dedicating this episode to Leonard Nimoy, I want to thank my friend Mary for actually giving me the idea of doing UFOs. I am always up for suggestions for any, subjects that you want me to talk about, to research or whatever. But other than that, let's just end this with a moment of silence to Leonard Nimoy and for impacting our lives so greatly. So, Leonard.